Hello and welcome to my podcast. Tonight we're going to talk about the guards. Well, I read a book recently. It's about it's called The Groundsman's Secret, and it's by a retired Garda sergeant called Michael Dalton. Now, it's about a small community in the west of Ireland, out in Galway somewhere near the coast. And in that community, there happens to be a large house with a big estate. And one day, the owners of the estate decide to up and move as they would, and they put it on the market. And some mystery buyer purchases the estate and the land. And that was fine. And then what happened was that the owner of the property then decided to put up high security fence, puts a camera on the gate. He employs a local troublemaker as a security guard, and basically the neighbours are told to stay away from the property altogether. And well, that obviously that raises suspicions, and I think the whole point of the whole what I got from the story is basically the whole idea of community policing. Policing really starts in the community. And we see that in the story through the local Garda, who's been in the village for the last 20 years. He knows his people, he knows what they're up to, the characters that are there, and he's also involved with the local football club, St. Brendan's. And when the suspicious activity starts up, like he tries to get it, he tries to find out what's going on, but he does it tactfully and quietly, and he keeps notes about everything that's going on in the area. Things start to come to a head when the local grounds person for the St. Brendan's Football Club, which happens to be adjacent to this property, the local groundsman, he falls out with the security guy. And oh god, he gets at one stage the security guy runs him over in the middle of the night, and the groundsman doesn't tell anybody about it. But the groundsman he was fixing to see could he get the security guard and get some sort of compensation from him. But so the groundsman gets curious and starts to snoop around the property, and he realizes that that there's people using a ribbed boat that goes out at strange times in the night, and he happens to overhear the issue or talk of delivery of drugs, a drug payment. So when the security guard finds out that this groundsman knows about what's going on the property, they decide to murder him. And then from that point on, their operation becomes more and more exposed as time goes on. What I do like about this story is the interrelationship, the level of communication between the various departments in the Garda structure. For a start, like when the guy gets murdered, there's naturally enough they dispose of the body in a bog, and so search teams had to be organized, and they have to find the body. Eventually they do. They call in crime scene investigation, and they do a meticulous examination of the body and and picked up any evidence that they could find in the scene and the area. The extensive amount of interviews with all the different people around the area, and basically they basically leave no stone is unturned. They look at everything, and what I got from that is the guards have to have a very meticulous eye for detail. And it's the smallest details that win the case in the end. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build up a case that is so concrete that it can't be thrown out of the courts. So you start to see all the evidence being collected up slowly and carefully over time. And every time the drug gang makes a mistake, the guards are there to itemize it, to detail it, and to slowly build up that case. And eventually the arrests do come, and there is a big drug bust in the end, and they do catch them, and they do connect them to the two murders that happened in that area. It's a lovely book. It's very interesting, especially the whole idea of community policing, because at the end of the day, it's not about right control and forming barriers and riot squads and whatever like that. That's anarchy. But what everybody really wants is community policing, where the guard knows what's going on in his area and people are confident enough to tell him. That's all I have to say. Take care.